The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. It's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and is even loved by Hollywood celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Order Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, now available at Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, it's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is a fast-paced and intriguing novel with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love be the first to go missing. It's available on paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many more. So grab a copy today, available on Amazon and more. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Also, heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful gentleman who has had decades of experience in the entertainment industry. He's the CEO of MD25 Entertainment. Also worked with Canopy Music for Jimmy Webb, included The Fifth Dimension, tonyorlandoanddawn, thelmahouston, and he also signed Black Sabbath, ELO, ABBA, and also set up the first UK publishing company for BMG, and also worked with SohoJohnny's Let Me Help Foundation, which was just on recently. And this guy just has a wealth of information. I mean, his wealth is up so high. If you need to get some advice or help, I mean, you got to just climb your way up to the top so you get this guy. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studio, somewhere in the East Coast, the very, very talented CEO of MD25, or is it MD25 Entertainment, the very, very talented John Velasco-Mills. John, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here. I don't know if I can follow on that intro.
or follow your footsteps with all the great experience you've had. And you basically, you worked with SohoJohnny's Let Me Help Foundation, which has drawn great reviews. And also, you're CEO of MD25 Entertainment. You worked with canopymusic for jimmywebb, and you also has included Fifth Dimension, tonyorlandoanddawn, thelmahouston. You also signed Yes and Black Sabbath, ELO, ABBA, and also set up the first UK publishing company for BMG. And you also, joined CBS Sings in the United States and formed MPI. And whew, boy, you just have a wealth of experience. And before we get to all that, tell us how you first got started, John.
Yeah, I get bored. No.
That's the one thing we do have in common. It's you and me, and that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, and like I was telling you, a mentor of mine used to say as well, it said better to be lucky than smart. And that's really being in the right place at the right time and working with some great people. Mm. It's I just love, I'm the worst guitar player in the world. I can play the piano with one hand. And so I like to work with really talented people. And that's the fun of the whole thing, is working and living vicariously really through them. Mm-hmm. And like I say, just being very lucky. Each step I made, something happened that I just fell into it almost. Some I had to work for, but some of it was just really good. I started off in the theater. So it was like, it was the weirdest start. And then I moved into PR because I was at Theatre Royal Drury Lane and there wasn't anywhere else to go. So it was like each little move I made, I was forced into it. And in PR, one day I was representing some incredible artists out there. But jimmywebb was introduced to me as a young songwriter, really not done much at that point. And we really got on together. And that's really when I moved into music. So that was the start.
And that is so amazing. What was that one moment that precisely influenced you into what you're doing today? So in other words, what was that magic moment that simply said to you, whatever you're involved in, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my career?
I think it basically was lucky enough again to be involved with Jimmy. He's such an incredible talent. Obviously it's today, and sitting, watching him play the piano, create music, and then follow through, and the number of artists that really loved what he was doing. And after that, there was really no turning back. I was like hooked on the whole songwriter experience. And that's why I still think of myself really as a music publisher, because it's all about the song. It's all about, that's the basis to everything. It's the bank of the industry. And really, no matter what I'm doing, there's publishing at the bottom of it all. It all begins with the music, whatever it is.
And speaking of music, who are some of your favorite artists, singers, and musicians growing up?
Oh, that's really scary. It's so wide. I love a lot of the older artists. I even go back to, I love Glenn Miller. I love right back there. It goes through all the stages. And there was a band who I'm trying to hold, Young Punks, out of I think it was Belgium originally. And they came up with it was like a really hip hop type band, but they started doing the Glenn Miller type arrangements in the back of it all, which was really stunning. And so it's nice watching the older music as well being absorbed into the young music. It's really a tough question. There's so many incredible artists out there, which I love. And it goes, it's James Taylor. It's a classic. Carole King. I still think the tunesmiths are the ones you look for. And then I did a show in Carnegie Hall a few years ago about Leadbelly.
Wow.
And very few people know about Lead Belly. And the exciting thing was to find out, I mean, one of the great quotes from George Harrison was, "No Lead Belly, no Beatles." And you realize that this guy all those years ago, I mean, Keith Richard, I mean, they're all fans. And so if you go back to where the music started, I think that's what I love doing. And then seeing it transferred into modern day music. Which I know is sidestepping the whole thing, but music is just carries on, and it just sort of changes like a chameleon. But the basics are there no matter what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like it as well. Tia talked about Lead Belly, and I've listened to their music. It's like, you think about it, it's like, who knew that the Beatles would be influenced somehow by Lead Belly? It's like, who would have thought of that?
Yeah, well, Lead Belly influenced skiffle. Skiffle was what they played when they were young kids. And, a lot of the thing, I mean, it's when you go into the number of people that have covered his songs, it was an incredible project to do, because the more you went out to, Van Morrison, I mean, he did the show for free in the Albert Hall in London, just as a total fan. I mean, and it's that type of following. And it's great to bring that type of music to the younger generation, because they can play with it as well. They can change it and move it. I'm doing a project now, which there's an incredible young artist that actually found a Jim Croce song. He'd never heard of Jim Croce. He heard it by mistake. His name's Charlie Black, and he did this incredible arrangement of it, which actually was on our streaming show for charity. But it's exciting stuff like that he'd never heard of him. Now he's exploring the catalog and looking, my God, he's written all these songs.
Yes.
And so it's really amazing. You never know who's going to find a song, what they're going to do. I mean, a guy that I've managed for years, Randy Edelman, I mean, literally for years, he did a song called Woman on Your Arm, and it was covered by Bing Crosby just before he died.
Bing Crosby, of all people? Wow.
The last song he recorded. And then he did he wrote another song called, Isn't It a Shame, which was covered by a lot of rap artists and won awards. And it was a beautiful ballad which just went click. And I think that's part of the excitement of the music industry, that you don't know where it's going. You may think, but then something goes sideways and it's, there's something new again. I mean, I'm doing a project now with a band called Animes X, and it's a band of heavy metal musicians. And Mike Vasera, Rudy Sarzo, and they're incredible. And they came up with the idea of doing kids songs.
Oh, really?
In metal.
Oh,
and they did they did the Disney songs in Japan and filled arenas. We were actually planning a tour here before all this hit. And it's a fabulous, fabulous thing when you hear like songs from Frozen done in metal. And of course,
let it go.
Precisely. I wish I could press the button and play it.
Let it go.
Because it starts out this heavy thing, and then suddenly you realize what the song is. And of course, the kids love it, but the parents love it. They go along it. So it's again, it's just having fun with songs and changing them and moving them around.
Oh, could you imagine Barney the Dinosaur doing Metallica or anything? What do you think Ozzy would do about that if a dinosaur came on stage?
Yeah, there you go. It's very close to all that. It really is. And so that's what I'm talking about, being really eclectic, from loving Sabbath to loving it's music is music, and it's what you do with it, really. Mm-hmm. And I just love going to some of the shows in Brooklyn and seeing these unknown acts, what they would do with it. And that's the fun thing is there's some real talent out there today. Mm-hmm. And I think this actually, even though they could play and they haven't got places to play and everything, I think a lot of them, by doing so much now, on the different platforms, they are actually probably getting a wider audience on a world basis than they would have done just playing in the local clubs.
Mm. That is a good point you made. And we talked about this earlier too, that how COVID has changed everything. They worried about, making money at the clubs, going on the road, or, going from city to city to taking the experience. But you're right. And what you put in perspective, like doing shows like from your home, your computer, or say your living room, your bedroom, bathroom. And I've seen or heard stories about guitarists playing from their cat's litter box or something, or maybe on a rooftop like they have the Beatles. Now it's just like you can reach more people worldwide, being on Zoom, Skype, or Duo, or FaceTime, or anything similar than you do at a club. And I think you really hit the nail on the head that something could be very big.
Yeah, and it's making them very inventive as well. It's taken them into another domain. They're not just doing music. They're trying to do something visual to impact. And I've always told any artist, you've got to get in touch with the fan. You've got to make them like you, know about you, and have an interaction. And a lot of these bands would have never had that interaction if it hadn't been for what's happening today.
And of course, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, and some of the new technology is stunning that's out there. Mm-hmm. It's really throw a stone and hit one.
and could you imagine trying doing something like this maybe 20, 30 years ago? It's like, you'd be in a studio, or you had a huge soundboard. You had to get like ISDN. You had to get like those big desktops, and you have to get one of those ribbon mics, or one of those expensive shirts, like $1,000. Imagine setting it up just for a conversation like you and me. And here we are. You can do it by phone. You can do it by laptop. And some are doing it on days on their tablets. And next thing you know it, you'll be doing it on your Dick Tracy wristwatch.
No, it's true. Many years ago, seriously, about probably 12 years ago, there was a company called Rock Me TV. And the guy that owned it was very, very inventive. And he did this thing where he called me and he said, look what I managed to do. He had a guy down by the Hudson on his phone, and he worked a way to broadcast it. And he said, look what I managed to do. And it was like, but he couldn't work out how to do it. And he said, this is going to happen. And that was 12 years ago, and no one had really thought of it. And of course, if only he had thought a bit further, he could have been well ahead. Mm-hmm. But it's fun. It's interesting.
It's also a who knew as well too, and we'll talk more about your illustrious career and also some influences, and especially work with SohoJohnny and a lot more in just 1 minute. First, to listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mosen-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosen-Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion, and those who love will be the first to go missing. It's available on paperback and ebook on Amazon. Grab your copy today. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page, facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon at Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with the CEO of MD25 Entertainment and entrepreneur and of course, a veteran of the entertainment industry, John Velasco-Mills, on the Mike Wagner Show. And we talked about all this technology and whatever else. I was going to get to a point as well that you talked about Leadbelly. One thing that made me thought of, like, a lot of the blues too, like Robert Johnson started the whole trend. Then along came Muddy Waters, the Rolling Stones, and current blues. I mean, who would have thought a guy down Mississippi, Robert Johnson, would start the whole thing? It's similar to what Leadbelly did in England.
Right. It's, yeah. And then, we were again, I was having chats today about Toots Hendricks, which was, the guy that invented the word reggae.
Yeah.
And, and it's really sad in a way, because he invented the whole thing and then was sort of moved to one side. But I mean, he's brilliant and still going today. And that was someone else we've been talking about. And again, no one's ever heard of him. But when you think that he came up with that name, it's hopefully, again, with all this happening, people are doing these biopics and things which get people interested in the root of where things happened.
Mm-hmm. And of course, nowadays they do it by EPKs, electronic press kits. They want something instant. They want something fast. And, some things you've never seen like 20, 30 years ago. And the old way is doing it by mail, or it's like you just scan or fax or anything like that. I mean, everything just travels so fast, and so does entertainment.
It's funny. I got a big package the other day of a TV series on DVD.
DVD, really?
And I had to get them on email and said, I can't play it. So they had to give me links to do it. And when you think of it, that's how it used to be. Big packages arriving. And, but it was very funny. Just had no clue. Mm-hmm. And he was wondering why it wasn't selling.
and of course, VHS was a big thing, 20, 30 years ago that went by wayside. DVD. Now DVDs was a big thing around 2000, thanks to Fast and the Furious. And now those got by wayside, and you got streaming services. Now the question is, what's next after streaming?
Well, I love in a way that it's gone backwards to vinyl. I mean, because I was always CDs never ever cut it for me, because I don't want to be told the frequencies I can listen to. I mean, they're cutting off top, they're cutting off bottom. Maybe I can hear further. Maybe, you can hear lower. But it's going back to vinyl really gives you the full depth of what anyone individually can purposely hear. And you get liner notes, which again, I think that was a big thing that went away. And it's doing incredible sales now, as you know. The vinyl is catching up with downloads, which is scary. But it's a wonderful thing to have a piece and hold it and turn it around, look at the liner notes, and then put it on the shelf like a piece of art.
I think I had about 1,000 albums at one point, but I gave most of it to my daughter as well, too, who's making use of it and kind of get back in the vinyl scene. She got me Queen, Night at the Opera, and it was just like being a teenager all over again. I mean, I miss the artwork, liner notes, and those cool labels that they put on. You watch it spin round and round and
round.
Yeah.
And then they tried square ones. Do you remember that? It was like they tried everything, so it was only in the middle. But it was just so artistic what you could do with it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really the fun of bringing it back, because instead of just doing a download or it's getting back to that is really fun.
Mm-hmm. And I remember reading about the square label as well, too. Like back in the 1900s, they did various cuts, and it just did in 78. And then the new technology came out that whoever did the 45 and the 33 and the third, it's like pack more music, but do it at a much slower speed. That type. And it just makes you wish you had 78 and just play it like the Chipmunks.
That's it. But then you play it backwards and find out all the evil things they're saying, right? That's right. Oh, it's saying this. It's the devil speaking through. I mean, I loved all that.
I remember I did this at school as well, too. We're checking tapes and records and everything. And it was a Muddy Waters record. And we were trying to figure out what to say backwards. And it says, off. Like it wasn't aired or anything like that, but we never dared do so. We lose our jobs. And then someone told me they played a Beatles record and they inadvertently spun it backwards. Said smoke up, everybody F up and something. So.
Well, I know on some of those it was funny as well, because if you used to read down the label, they used to write notes actually on the mother that when they pressed it. And some said some funny things, and not many people ever realized what was actually written on there. So you can have a lot of fun with those. The sad thing is when they started making vases from it.
Oh, yes. And of course, with some groups as well, too, like the ones you had gotten on or worked with through Jimmywebb, Fifth Dimension, tonyorlandoanddawn, thelmahouston. Also, you signed Yes, Black Sabbath, ELO, ABBA, and all these people as well, too, and helped out with Tommy Boyce, John Denver, Davy Jones, and the list goes on and on. And maybe just give us a really good story or two about some of the artists you've worked with, some of those who've signed, and just something unusual. I mean, Black Sabbath. It's like everybody wants to hear how Black Sabbath got started.
There's lots of fun. Well, I moved to a company called Worldwide Entertainment, which eventually became Hemdale. A friend of mine was David Hemmings, an actor that no one remembers now, but he was great. And they were the signings. There were Medicine Head. There were some great acts there. And in those days, no one really worried about the publishing or any of that. So I set up the publishing companies for them. And I lived between London and LA. And so when they were touring out there, we had a lot of fun. I mean, I'm actually working with Rick Wakeman again, doing some projects with him, which is a lot of fun. And one of the funny Rick Wakeman stories is that we were doing a big show at the Forum. Well, they were doing a big show. And the whole band was basically on macrobiotic diets, even in those days. But he and I actually went to, we borrowed a car. I've actually lost you now. And we went out to a bar and got a steak and beer.
Oh,
and the funny thing is that there were people in the bar saying really bad things about him, saying, look, who does he think he is? He's trying to look like Rick Wakeman, doesn't look at all like him. Which was like, because he had the hair down the back and the whole thing. So it was really, really funny. But,
oh, my goodness.
So I for some reason, I've lost your video, but
anyway. Okay. I still have you on at my end. And
okay, well, that's fine then.
Okay, yeah, because I'm basically the one that's recording the show. It's pre-recording everything, and you're good too. And it's all can hear me, we can hear you, and that's the magic of it too, by the way. So you can always do things on the fly, and of course, there's always the phone and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, I think you also had worked. Let's see, Sir Patrick Stewart. I'm trying to read off. He had.
They came. There's a very interesting. Charity out there called I'm No Joke, which is through a big foundation called Creative Visions out in Malibu. And it was started by a guy called Andrew Cole. And he was really mistreated all his young life. And he basically became quite a well-known songwriter. And he formed this charity really to teach people about, being a bully was bad. But instead of doing it the standard way, he went to major artists and asked them to give them interviews. And every artist there were some incredible remarks from what had happened, whether it was Ozzy, it was Sharon, Sir Patrick Stewart, Jane Lynch, they did incredible interviews about this. Slash. I mean, people, they all opened up, and it's a brilliant idea because it's trying to get at the kids. He said, everyone preaches to them, tell them that these are real people that they admire, saying this happened to me. And don't do it to other people and don't let it happen to you. And I think that's a much better way to approach that whole problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that was where a lot of people on this streaming show I did came on to support that as well. I gave him a whole segment to do it from. Mm-hmm. And we were lucky enough, this show actually got in the top 10 of stream shows of the year, which is ridiculous. But we had like 70 artists on. And again, The whole idea was mixing well-known artists, from Moody Blues, from 10 years after, to young artists just beginning. And the trick was balancing them in the production so it wasn't like jarring as you move them through. But the young talent, we really A&R'd it really carefully. It was really, really good young talent. And a couple of them now had deals from people seeing the show.
Wow.
Which is nice as well. And so it was that was the whole fun thing, is mixing the old stars with the young stars, up and coming ones. And I think that's really fun to do that. And sorry.
Go ahead. This is good.
No, and I was just going to say, and I like mixing up the different projects as well. So on one hand, with Randy Edmonds doing film scores. He's done like 300 film scores from Cousin Vinny to Last of the Mohicans, Gettysburg. It just goes on and on. The NFL football theme. So So on one side, I'm seeing the classical type trained people. And on the other side, I'm seeing people that can barely play the guitar, but are coming up with wonderful ideas and great lyrics. And so treating right across the board of writers and artists, it doesn't get stale. It stays really interesting. And then you can put two together. And the nice thing about the industry, and the majority of writers and performers really want to help the young people come on.
Mm-hmm. And of course, too, that, back in the day, it was more of a cutthroat business trying to cut the other guy out. And nowadays, with changing times and what we're going through, now it's becoming more of a helping business. And that definitely is a good thing. And we need each other to help each other. Like, you help me, I help you, or you help SohoJohnny, I help, or he helps somebody, or, whoever's listening to the Mike Wagner Show or watching is out to help somebody. I think that's a big message right now compared back in the day where I'm going to be number one. Now it's like we all need to help each other.
Well, I think that's the wonderful thing about SohoJohnny. I mean, I came on to help him and work out what he was doing. And this is a really genuine person who's a businessman. And for years, with no one knowing what he's been doing doing pop-up shows and really helping the older artists, which is another lovely thing. I mean, he's got 2 record labels now, and one is specifically for the older artists, the lesser known artists. And, everything he does as well, something has to go to charity. Mm-hmm. And that's why, making this big stream show was so important, because this is the biggest thing that's been done. And really, if you like, bringing him out of the cold into Let Me Help as his foundation. And it's really here. Mm-hmm. And it donated money to the Prostate Cancer Foundation, to the I'm No Joke situation. And then a very local one, which is a Meals on Wheels, particularly for the older people with COVID, with a very focus on that, because unfortunately John lost his mother this year or last year because of COVID. Mm-hmm. And so again, this is a really fun, interesting project to be involved in, because that, as well as growing and spreading out. But like I say, everything he does, why I love the guy, is that it has to go to charity. Mm-hmm. And again, he could have been doing this in the background for years, but this is an opportunity because of what's happening, that bang, he can put it out there. Mm-hmm. And I think even the established artists, as well as the younger artists, have the same problem now. None of them are on the road. None of them are working. So suddenly it's not us and them, one selling out to 10 million people and the other doing a club. It's now none of them are playing, which is sort of a leveler. So they've all got to think about where they are and what they're doing, and so there's a lot of things in a lot of ways that this terrible situation has actually worked in the industry.
Right. And do you think something similar to what you did with SohoJohnny, is it going to be a brand new trend in the music industry?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm seeing more and more people doing it, because in the music industry, most people are very lucky nowadays, particularly in the business side of it, because in any time the business, something terrible happens in the world, whether it's a war, whatever it is, the entertainment industry grows because people want escapism. Mm-hmm. And right now, I mean, Netflix, they're running out of product. I mean, basically, the studios no one's making it. Everyone's watching. Everyone needs content. Mm-hmm. So once again, the industry as a whole is really gearing up to more and more, much product as they can get.
Right.
And so from that side, it's a build.
Mm-hmm. And of course, go ahead.
No, go on, Kurt.
No, but I was going to mention something about Netflix. There's so many titles on there. My wife and my kids and I even have a hard time trying to figure out what to watch. There's so much of it out there, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And you also got the other streaming services, like, say, with Hulu, Tubi TV, and even CBS, Disney, and everything. Next thing you know, we're going to have 1 million outlets with 1 million movies, and who knows what's next? Yes.
I know we go through it, we binge watch, but then I never know what we're going to do. Is it Apple TV? Which one were we looking at? Was it Netflix? Was it Hulu? And it's funny because sometimes, I switch to the television and I forget which one I'm looking at, which is hilarious, really. And a friend of mine is just launching a horror one called Terror TV, which is a fun idea as well. They're really sort of cheap and nasty horror pictures, which obviously students and everyone love. But he's jumping on the bandwagon again. It makes a lot of sense, like more and more product.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's more information. I think there's a lot of informational stuff out there as well, like I was saying earlier, which wasn't there. And I think it wouldn't have come out if it hadn't been such a shortage.
And I remember that Bruce Springsteen song back in the day where he sang about 57 channels and nothing on. You know, these cable networks, it's like 1,000 channels and still nothing on. And next thing you know, streaming services, there's a million outlets out there and there's still a million things going on, where if it's nothing on, something on, or everything on. I mean, it's expanded, especially from cable. I think about it. Whew.
Yeah. I mean, also I'm chairman of a charity called RAD. It used to be called, we just call it RAD now, RADD. It used to be Recording Artists, Actors and Athletes Against Drunk Driving. But I've been involved in that for like 12 years longer. And it's a really, really good charity because it's again, we just about colleges and everything else. We have colleges involved in it, and it's creating product for that and launching it. Years ago, Paul McCartney gave us Drive My Car. And it was interesting. It was the first time he'd talked to Yoko after John's death, because John's mother died from a drunk driver. Mm. And it's interesting. And so basically we've got a different, we're trying to hit into the kids rather than give them rules. So our motto is really like, we know you drink, we know you do drugs, don't drive when you do it, which is like a reversal from what a lot of people, it's like, you know, you drink, we're going to lock you up.
Right.
And it's like, and so with Drive My Car, it's still out there. You can actually, it's quite amazing. Every line, virtually, a different star did the line, from actors to athletes to everyone, McCartney, of course. And it's really a fun piece. And that was it was a really piece that the kids loved. And we're about to do another one, I think.
Oh, that's amazing. And keep us up to date on that. And we're going to talk about, John Velasco-Mills being the CEO of MD25 Entertainment, and what's coming up for the entertainment giant, John Velasco-Mills. We'll find out in 1 minute on the Mike Wagner Show. We'll be back after this timeout.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple, and more. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, where The Mike Wagner Show interviews great guests, cool conversation, lots of laughs, coffee, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today.
Hey, this is Ray Powers. And if there's one thing you can count on in these unpredictable times, it's that you're in good hands getting some great radio, courtesy of The Mike Wagner Show.
We're here with entertainment legend John Velasco-Mills on the Mike Wagner Show. He worked with SohoJohnny's Let Me Help Foundation, also worked with canopymusic for jimmywebb, and also signed Yes, Black Sabbath, ELO, ABBA, and set up the first UK publishing company for BMG. And you're also the CEO of MD25 Entertainment. Tell us more about that and the great company you're with.
Yeah, so MD25 stands for Moondog on 25th Street. My partner, Pete Casco, had a company called Moondog, which it started out as an edit house, then got more into working with the agencies, and is really a mini agency, if you like, now, where they do everything from, take a project from beginning to end, and have major clients. Unfortunately, I had to change the name because Moondog in some areas means the devil, which we found out when we were dealing with China and places. So anyway, it's now called Carousel. And he and I are partners in MD25, and that's why we kept the Moondog in there, although no one knows it. And so we obviously have a couple of publishing companies. We do soundtracks for movies, but we also do full productions. That's where some of the ideas I was talking about, that we're doing the biopics and stuff. That's all done through us as well. So we'll take a project, come up with a way to do it, shoot it as well. And we also go to major pictures. We do post for a lot of things as well. And again, with publishing being in the background, we do the post on a special deal, so they have the music rights. So again, the music rights on everything is really, like I said originally, that's what we're doing in every angle of the music and of the business, I mean. So that's really Moondog. The good thing is we can do anything. And clients of Carousel are like Pepsi and Victoria's Secret, Land Rover, whatever. It just goes on and on and on. So again, that gives us a chance for the young writers and lots of writers to write music for the commercials. So it all dovetails in very nicely. And, and the briefs on some of this, they go from, a few thousand on up to huge amounts of money. And so it's really nice, again, for young writers now. They can't perform a lot, so they can do these little briefs and just bring in money as they do it. So it's a really nice earning for young writers.
Wow, that's amazing too. And how do they get in touch with you to get started?
John at md25.nyc. That's us. And I know, so it's got a description of the company there. And we look at all areas, particularly we're looking at a lot of movies nowadays and doing interesting projects. And we love projects that have a charity angle to it at some point. Because I think, is that, for years, but particularly now, you can find a lot of charities out there that really need it. I mean, the next project I'm going to do is by accident, I found about this called Camp Marcella in New Jersey. They're incredibly short of money. And it's a camp for blind and autistic children, which is stunning. And the fact that no one supports them, to me, was just amazing. And so we're planning an event with SohoJohnny right now that we're going to plan an event just for them. Because the work they do is incredible. They have a wonderful camp and they look after all these children, which definitely need this, I would think, this escapism every summer. So, and that's, you can look around and find things that are just being left out there. People are doing charity deals for huge charities out there. But there's little tiny charities. That's why we did the Meals on Wheels that no one even thinks about or thinks of helping. Part of the thing I did with the Lead Belly thing, there was a little school up in Harlem, which is fabulous. And a lot of it, the kids, their mothers are working all day. They've got nowhere to go. And they supply them with everything they need. And they help the mothers get jobs if they're out of work. And again, no one knew about this little charity. So...
Wow. And
that's what I find fun doing nowadays.
And what are some of the other charities that you support as well? And some of the ones you haven't mentioned? You talked about, the drunk driving and also the Let Me Help, anti-bullying, blind and autism. And what other charities out there or causes you guys support?
Well, we cancer, obviously, which is, obviously huge. And prostate cancer in particular, because it hits with the industry, because obviously it hits a lot of guys, and a lot of guys in the industry have it or have had it. And it's a tremendous amount of people. And so they all want to help out as well. And so that's really a prime charity. I also helped a charity called SAVE, which is really a suicide prevention charity, which is a wonderful charity again. And the strange thing about that charity is that not many people want to talk about it, where I would have thought a lot of people want to talk about it, because, more and more I'm finding people that know someone, or I know people that have committed suicide, when the last thing you'd imagine. So that was a very tough one to work on, which astonished me, because I thought that everyone would rush out and help. But and like I say, if there's a good charity out there, we're really happy to help them. That was the whole reason of doing Let Me Help, because instead of just doing one charity, which I'd been doing before as well, John had the idea of doing the foundation so we can actually give to any charity. So we do specific ones, but then if we find that there's money in there and we find someone that was desperate, we can actually give to that charity. Rather than saying, this is for that charity, this is for that. It's all for Let Me Help. And so
it's basically all these, charities combined into a foundation.
That's correct. Yeah, that was the whole point of the foundation. So like I say, that we can give to any of the charities anywhere. And obviously it helps the donors to be able to get the tax write-off. And so it helps everyone.
And that's the most important thing. And how can people help? What can they do?
They can do anything. They can volunteer. They can donate. It's on letmehelpinc.org is the name of is the website. They can go on there, donate. They can offer their services. There's a bunch of stuff they can do. We'll accept anything. So if they go to letmehelpinc.org, and they'll find all the information on there, just drop us a line and we'll see if we can help people. And
excuse me here. Any future benefit concerts or charities coming up with the SohoJohnny's Let Me Help Foundation or anything?
Yeah, like I said, the Camp Marcella is going to be a big one, which is one of the prime ones we're working on right now.
Okay. And
because we have to do them one at a time, because it's amazing the type of preparation it takes ahead of time to do a good show. It's you can't just do it.
Exactly. I know what you mean. And of course, we're here with John Velasco-Mills, the CEO of MD25 Entertainment, and a legacy in the entertainment industry for decades on the Mike Wagner Show. And just a few more things, John, and we'd love to have you back on in 2021 and beyond. You've been absolutely fantastic. What else can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond?
Hopefully a lot of more fun songs and some of the new artists that we're going to put out there. I mean, we've got April Rose Gabriella is a big one that she'll be out. And obviously Anna Mae's X is the fun one.
I certainly can't wait. I'm looking forward to it, Ray. I think I got that on my calendar with all this junk I got with these notes and everything else. And my notepad and my phone's not working.
Okay.
Gotta bring back the paper and pencil. Believe me, got old school.
I still do that.
and you know what, too? I have a confession. I have a calendar, and also my dog got me a notebook to write notes in.
And it's a perfect one as well.
Very creative. Next thing you know, I'll have one this big, just like the Bible. Next thing you know.
With you.
And lastly, who do you consider biggest influence in your career, John?
Thanks so much, Mike. It's great.
All right. And who do you consider biggest influence in career? We're not done yet. I love talking to you.
Oh, I thought you were wrapping up.
No. Yeah, so I think we got here. So once again, who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Oh God, it still has to be Jimmy, because he was the start of the career. I wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for him dragging me into that world. I would have still probably been in PR or the theater world. I would never have transferred it to music because I didn't even think of it. And so that has to be the biggest influence from the beginning. I mean, yeah. I mean, production-wise, the biggest thing I ever did, I did the first tour of India. I spent a year in India, and that really, through my entire career, has to be one of the most fun, exciting, and educational things I ever did, to go to a country that didn't know about staging or anything.
Wow.
And it was an incredible. I did all the way. We did Delhi, Bangalore, Madras, Calcutta. We went right round, and it was, and of course Bombay in those days. But so from that point of view, that was probably the biggest thing I ever did that affected everything I did from then on, because it was really starting at ground zero.
Mm-hmm. And that's very amazing. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point, John?
Basically, not to think it's easy. You've still got to work at it. I think a lot of people nowadays think it's the quick route to making money. And it's really the quick route to tearing your hair out and being totally frustrated. It's also doing the homework. It's amazing the young artists I meet that are really starting up on their career and and I talk to them about basics and they have no idea.
Really?
And I think that's really, what a lot of young artists to do before find out about the business. It's not just fun and, doing a performance and getting lots of fans. There's a business side to it that if they do it wrong, they're going to miss out on the best part of why they're doing it, which is making the money and creating a fund for their retirement.
Exactly. And that's a very good point. Once again, John Velasco-Mills, CEO of MD25 Entertainment and a legacy in the entertainment industry, and a Mike Wagner Show. John, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. So keep us up to date. Love to have you back. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people just check you out or get a hold of you for charity work or anything?
Yeah. So the charity side is letmehelp.org. My company my email is john@md25.nyc, and md25.nyc is my website. So they'll find out everything they need there.
We will certainly do that. John, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And don't forget to keep in touch. And you've been absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. It's been fun, Mike. Thank you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.